I don't know where my partner in crime is, Tom. So, okay, well, the levels are kind of high.
Let's see, am I too loud?
You should be fine. So, let's see here. Okay, I guess that's good. Just want to double check this, make sure. Let me go switch my headphones off. Okay, you there?
I am here.
Okay, a second. Hold on. This is not using my microphone here. It's using my internal mic on the computer here. Okay. Me?
I can.
Okay.
Yeah, it's much better.
Yeah. All right. Oh, yeah. It's a new mic that I'm using. So this is going to be interesting. Me doing this podcast by myself.
Hey, that's all right.
I used to have, like it's a little easier, more relaxing when I have someone to fall to on little quirks and all that stuff.
Oh, man. Let's see. Tom's unresponsive, huh?
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I could think would be better is if you could turn you're doing it by your phone?
Yes.
If you could turn your phone horizontal. Let's see if it adjusts. It should adjust the picture horizontally. Well,
So, yeah, I turned it sideways.
because usually video is done horizontally when you record video, but you're doing your front camera, huh?
Yeah, I'm doing my front. Invite.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. You just go back to normal. Yeah, it's not adjusting here. Like on FaceTime, it would adjust.
Let's see. I'm not sure.
So the recorder, what I've done before on this recording software, it allows me to just basically put you like, if you're like on a newscast and you have the two pictures next to each other, and then the whole thing around it, behind it, is the rectangle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what this is going to look like if I decide to put this on Nation TV.
Oh, good deal.
So okay, let's go. Basically, to give you a background, Ninth Man Nation, we discussed this at the games briefly. It's something I want to, I've been launching now for the last couple weeks. We have 2 podcasts up. We have a 36-minute one, which was our first episode, and that one basically gives us a background of who Tom and I are and our experiences of going to AFL games. Mm-hmm. So that's what we discussed on that one. And we basically want to keep this like a round table for the fans to have a voice to say, hey, we did this, and this is how we experienced our games here, and how we experienced games going on the road, or going to the Arena Bowl game, or whatever.
Okay.
So that's what we do here. And then last week we recorded a 2-hour-long episode where we had one of the longtime SaberCat fans come in, and he's from Santa Cruz, and he was here. He's been a season ticket holder for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, since 95. So we had him on, and we basically discussed his experience as a fan and what he thought, and then how he got a call from Commissioner Butera, and Butera actually called him back, and they sat on the phone together for like an hour just discussing things. So, and then we discussed what we thought about the 8-team situation and how it's going to tournament-style playoff situation and all that. And then we discussed Tom and I's road trips. We're planning to go to 4 games next year. Okay. And, you and I discussed we're probably going to go to the LA Kiss Phoenix game on May 21st, depending on your availability on your other job. So that's what we're doing, and basically we want to bring that up to a lot of people, and it's just a share. And I want to get slowly but surely, I'll be migrating to having fans and also other players. I'm going to get in line with having even. I want to have James Barron, the new president of the league, of the players union, back on because he's cool, and he can share his experience from his time with the Chicago Rush back in the heyday. Right. So, and that's what I want to do. I don't want to create this as like a media site where we're media say, okay, Steve Watson, you did this and this, and why did you have to go do this and all that stuff. No, I want to have it from okay, you played X amount of time with the Tulsa Talons. While you were there, how was your experience? I know part of it was AF2. How was your experience there while I was there as far as for the interaction, you personally with the fans? And then when they came up to the AFL level in that 1 year, how was your experience there, the change between the two different league levels? And then I guess when you transferred over to the SaberCats, how were the fan experience there with the SaberCats? And how did the team go about doing that? So I guess let's just go ahead and introduce yourselves. So, say who are and the teams that you play for and where you're at right now in the league.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So I kind of got my start in arena football back in 2005. I was just coming out of college from Southwest Missouri State, which is Missouri State now. And, obviously, like most of the guys, I had aspirations of, playing at the NFL level. And, kind of once reality set in that wasn't going to be, the best path for me, I actually got a call from longtime AFL coach Art Hagee, who's, since passed away. And he actually asked me to come down to Arkansas and play arena football. Growing up in St. Louis, Missouri, I had actually never experienced real arena football. Didn't really know much about it, and this was arena 2. And once of course, we got around to the topic of pay. He told me it's $200 and $50 win bonus, which didn't thrill me that much. But of course, I wanted to continue my playing career, so. In 2005, took a drive down to North Little Rock, Arkansas, and had an opportunity to show up there on about Tuesday and start the game that Saturday. And I was only there for the last 5 games of the season, and did well enough to where of course they wanted to bring me back, and came back for the 2006 season, and had a nice season. I think I totaled 16 or 17 sacks the regular season, and that was back in the 2-way game, which was quite a different experience, and really loved it down there. They had a really solid fan base there. It was a game like nothing I had ever experienced, and was fortunate enough with the success I had there to be elevated to the AF1. And this is, of course, for the 2007 season. And so, after being, courted by different teams, after that, the stint in Arkansas, traveled around. It was kind of cool. It was like back in high school when you have a good senior season and you take the recruiting around to all the different places. And I took a trip out to San Jose and really just fell in love with it. Fell in love with the coaching staff. Fell in love with everything that they really had going. Obviously, the success of the franchise going back, but not really just what they had done in the past, but where I saw the organization is headed. And so I went ahead and signed with San Jose and came out there for the 2007 season. I tell you what, the difference between the AF2 and the AF1 was about as different as NAIA and University of Alabama. I mean, it was that different of an experience. I went my first game, seeing the stands completely packed, seeing the television crews from side to side, having the fans really gravitate towards you and having an opportunity to really interact. And I think that's when we first you and I first met, and really just it was just an incredible experience. And fortunately we had with the on-field success we had through the 2007 and 2008 seasons there in San Jose was just immeasurable. I mean, it was just it was incredible. In every city we went to, save for Vegas, was just an incredible fan experience, and just really something immaculate. And Obviously, I think all of our hearts were broken when the 2000 after the conclusion of the 2008 season, when things didn't pan out quite the way we had hoped, and the league shut down. And then I took 2009 as a hiatus from playing, and it was really, I guess, fortunate in one respect that I had a substantial knee injury that I wouldn't have been able to play for the 2009 season anyway. Actually, I had my knee reconstructed twice, and went through a ton of surgeries, and certainly didn't know if I'd be able to play again. But came back out to California, had the expert medical services of the team doctor Arthur Ting, who was working with other professional sports franchises and long history there, and he actually fixed me up better than new. Yeah. And so when the league reemerged in 2010, was able to sign and go ahead and went to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and play there. That experience, it was like no other. I mean, the small market there in Tulsa, it was a small market, but they had a strong fan base, and it was the love that we got there. Obviously, there weren't the other professional sports there near there, so I mean, it really pulled all the whole community in there to experience that, and I just I was thrilled. I mean, it was really an amazing experience. And then at the conclusion of that season, they were going through some ownership changes and changing the way they operated a little bit, and myself and really the nucleus of the team really just decided to disperse and kind of go our separate ways. And from there, I went to the Dallas Vigilantes, and had a opportunity to play there under really just a great owner, and Woody Kern, who since passed away as well, unfortunately. And under the coaching of Clint Dozell, who was just obviously a tremendous player, and really just a nice guy.
Yeah.
It's just he's really just a really good guy, and we had a really solid team there. We didn't have the same type of fan base that I had experienced in other places, partially with the changing of the name. I think that most of the people in the Dallas market had really become accustomed to having the Desperados name, and even though we were still playing there at the American Airlines Center, not having that name, I think, really alienated people. And of course, we still had some on-field success, but we weren't drawing the diehard fans that I had experienced in other markets, and I attribute a lot of that due to the name change.
Yeah.
And then of course that was in the 2011, and obviously I got heavily involved with the formation of the new AFL Players Union, and with that, it pretty much wrapped up my playing career. That's just kind of the way things go sometimes. I guess teams have decided that me moving that direction wasn't in their best interest to have me around as a player. So that was fine. Those are the sacrifices you make for the good of the game and for the good of the players. But the fan experience has just been incredible, really, through and through, from each team that I've played with, and I just can't say enough about it.
Yeah. So your first experience with the AFL, the true AFL level fans, is with the SaberCats back in 2007, and your Reno Bowl days, beating those guys from Columbus and Mr. Nagy, and that you had enough of a little taste of Mr. Nagy's flesh because you sacked him like crazy.
Absolutely. We had quite a team there. It was I was actually joking on Facebook with many of the current SaberCat guys, or the guys from this past season, and they were they were quick to label themselves as the GOAT for arena football, greatest of all time,
Yep.
team-wise. And, I had to give those guys a little bit of grief and say, whoa, hang on there now. I understand record-wise, you guys had quite a high level of accomplishment, but the reality is that 2007 team is the most dominant team that I have ever seen in all phases of the game. It was incredible what we were able to accomplish, and I think even in looking at the record, we lost 3 games that season. We started out 3-3, and really I attribute those 3 losses to a new system. Obviously, that was the first year of the one-way players in the AF1 level, and really just obviously as a coaching staff trying to figure out how to best utilize people in a completely new system. But after that 3-3 start, we rattled off the next 13 straight to finish out, and it was there were not a lot of close games. We were dominant.
Yes, you were. Yes, you were. Yeah, I also remember that year, and unfortunately, I couldn't go to the Arena Bowl that year to watch Columbus. I went the next year, unfortunately, when the Arena Bowl was sort of purchased. But but we won't say anything about that. You could also say that the players in 2007 were different because they had different rule changes that they were just being accustomed to from what they were playing in the past.
Right,
and also, if you look at the other teams, that I think the quality of play was more equally, even though the SaberCats had record-wise and stat-wise were on the books dominant and on paper dominant. But if you look at just the level playing field of the quality players throughout the league, it was more equal-based, equal playing field, and there was more teams out there.
No, absolutely, and obviously, I love this league. I've sacrificed a lot through my personal life, through my body, for it, and I love both versions, but it is a different it is a different game now, and obviously with the owners and the finances that were involved in the previous league, it does attract a different caliber of player through and through, from top to bottom. Now, obviously, there's a tremendous amount of talent in this league, but one of the key differences, is in the different ownership groups that I think that we've seen since the reemergence, and a lot of that is you did have a lot of the previous AF2 owners that did come back and really run their franchises the same way, and I think that the reason you've seen so much success from the Arizonas, the San Jose's, the Philadelphia's, the Cleveland's, is because those ownership groups were are used to dealing with running things a different way.
Yeah.
Obviously there in Cleveland, having Gilbert there, he's runs the Mavs as well. So obviously all he's ever known is the professional style, and then the other ownership groups, they've been involved in the old league and they know how to do things. And I think that a lot of times people really underestimate why we as players go and play in different places. A lot of times, obviously, being in a place like San Jose where you've got your own facility, where you had your own weight room, your own field. You weren't sharing. You didn't have to worry about any of these other things. Having the access to the private plane, which is just, oh my gosh, an incredible experience. And just having that, the ownership groups that are really doing a great job of going out and getting the community involved and having different opportunities to do the meet and greets with the fans, which really engages the community and pulls in those people to the games. And while you have those successful and loyal fan bases, doing things the right way in that terms of marketing your team is just a tremendous amount of it really draws players in. And then obviously the difference in talent, what I really see, from a skill position, I think that most teams have guys that could have competed and could have competed well in the old league. It's the same way with any college you look at. Most teams, everyone's got a great running back, everyone's got a great receivers, and DBs, and I think that same thing kind of carries true over to our league. The real difference that I've seen between the leagues is in the line play and the depth there, as well as at the quarterback position, the depth there. Looking in totality around the league.
Yeah, you should be really thankful that the opportunity to be in the players union as you are now is there for you, and you're there instead of being, say like if you were on the active roster with the SaberCats this past year, because that private jet thing, it's gone. They didn't fly private this past year. They flew Southwest.
Even with that, I mean, I tell you what, that I was kind of sound like a homer, but that San Jose, just the organization, top to bottom, it's you got a sense that when you're in practice and you had John and Dave coming by frequently and really taking a personal interest in guys and that means something versus your ownership actually just being a businessman that you never see. You see him from time to time at games, but you never really have any type of real connection. And all the guys there, they knew exactly who was running the deal and being involved there, and that's that speaks volumes. And having an opportunity to use those those relationships to launch postseason careers. And when I was in Tulsa. Had an opportunity to, really connect with a couple of the owners there, and one of which continues to mentor me to this day. And his son's actually my best friend now, and that was Michael Johnson, who was a phenomenal guy, and really kind of took a personal interest, and really helped me launch my postseason career and post-playing career outside of arena football, and really helped me to gain a fair amount of success in my personal life outside of arena football.
Yeah. So if we take you back to your playing days in Tulsa for the Talons, what did the team itself do to market itself to interact with fans? I know from like a league standpoint, the league has a fan bill of rights, which each team has to sort of follow the code of conduct in those bill of rights. And one of them was to, like, at the conclusion of the games, to have either 20 to 30 minutes or so of time, whether you set up tables on the field or whether you go around the dasher boards and the players, the dancers, and coaches and so forth go around and sign autographs and take pictures of what they can. What else did the team do as far as for setting up relations with the fans? Like, did they have viewing parties to watch the game on TV or anything else there, like maybe like a season ticket holder, party, whatever? Anything else that the Tulsa team did?
No, absolutely. They really tried to get the booster. We did have a fan club there, and I think they did a really good job of trying to engage fans. I think that one of the things that may have hurt that franchise a bit was the move to the new building. They moved from the Tulsa Convention Center over to the BOK, which is a larger facility, a much nicer venue.
Yeah.
However, kind of moving from that, I think that there was kind of an assumption there that that because they were selling out the convention center, which was a smaller venue, that if they moved over to the BOK, that that additional fans would come, with them doing the same things that they did while they were in the convention center. And I think that in business, a lot of times when you want your product to grow, if it's going to be from a financial standpoint or anything, more often than not, you have to sink a little bit more money into the business, and whether that's in terms of marketing, whether it's going to be radio advertisement, TV advertisement, print media, really sinking the finances into that. And I think that they, were somewhat lax in maybe continuing to do the same things as they had done while in the smaller venue, when they probably should have, maybe ramped that up. And obviously, hindsight's always 20/20, but the fan base that that same core group of fans. They came and they were there passionately every week, and the post game, that kind of rings true for for most teams, having that opportunity to go around and sign the autographs, and really as players, that's really love that. Most of these guys haven't had an opportunity to experience the NFL, where they really, I guess, feel like they are have that celebrity, and having that experience, that ability, where you're having the kids that really just want to see these guys that they've just spent the last 3 hours watching really play a gladiators game, having an opportunity to have these people run up and want to sign the autographs and take pictures. I think it's just the players love it, the fans love it, and certainly something that I hope continues.
Yeah, and now making a shift, I guess you could say I'm skipping the SaberCats because you and I are both in the SaberCats thing, and the start the thing is that the majority of the people that will probably be listening to this podcast will be SaberCats fans because, of course, I'm from San Jose here, and we're locally based on getting my San Jose people out here to listen and watch this podcast, and also Nation TV. But for others, let's skip over to your experience with the Vigilantes. From my perspective outside here in California compared to Dallas, is I think the reason why the Vigilantes let's say, was not really as successful as they used to be when they were in Frisco, Texas, as an AF2 team, I think they were. And then, or there was some other league that came into it, maybe the IFL or something like that. And and they took over the American Airlines, and it's like what the Tulsa did. They went to a bigger arena. They were trying to be the Desperados, which they're not. And they were also, because they changed their colors, I think, to match the Desperados colors for some part.
Well, we were the colors were black and red, and there's kind of some grayish in there. Really there in Dallas. Obviously, the name change hurt. Jerry Jones did want to keep that Desperados name, or wanted quite a substantial sum of money to take that over, and that obviously was something that Woody wasn't willing to do. But keeping the games in the American Airlines Center. I think they were being charged about $30,000 per home game. Plus, they didn't get to keep any of the parking or concessions, which really puts a strain, on the ownership group to really bust their tail in terms of marketing and securing sparonships to be able to increase the wealth there. Because most teams, and it's the same with any league. Whether you're talking NBA, NFL, any of those, the bulk of the revenue is not generated from gate. It's really secured through either television revenue, marketing, and sponsorships, and that's where really the bulk of the finances are coming in. And they just didn't have the name to really back up securing many of those deals. Obviously, is really starting from scratch and trying to sell potential sponsors on the potential of the team versus what it had actually accomplished, and that really hurts. And I think that you kind of, as walking around the city there, and people would come up and talk to you, and you kind of tell them what you did for a living, that you played for the Vigilantes, and there was a lot of that. Who? What's that? And then you say, oh, well, the city, there used to be the, Desperados. And they say, oh, yeah, I know the Desperados. And so there was a huge disconnect there, and really, relaying to the fans that there was a new arena football team in town, and that, same-ish league, but a different name. So, yeah, I think that really hurt.
Do you think that Jerry Jones basically had the market saturated, where Dallas was his middle name? He basically owned the AFL name. I thought the Desperado name was owned by the league and not the owner of the team.
No, so in the old league, the owners, owned everything. They would purchase it, they would trademark it, and that was the ownership structure there. Obviously, in this new league, there are with it. supposedly as a single entity, the league actually owns everything.
Yeah.
But there's some of the teams owned it, some of the teams didn't. Was I guess is the short answer in the old league. And you see the league ownership now, where teams like Spokane, as they have left, have not been able to take that with them, and I think they're going to be like the trains or locos
Oh,
or
Spokane Empire.
Empire. Okay, there's a train in there somewhere. I saw the
Yeah.
logo.
Yeah.
But the fan bases have been great. One of the things, and you and I have spoke about. My primary career is with a supplement company, Isogenics, and with myself, I run the professional athlete division, and
Yeah.
work with athletes in a wide range of sports. And I really thought I knew sports until I took over this job, and having an opportunity to meet with elite athletes across a wide range of sport. One of the things that I found is, these different sports, things that I would have never thought of. They have such loyal fan bases. Whether it's going to be the fitness competitors or skydivers or surfers, they have such large and committed fan bases. And in looking at that, I really thought about the AFL, and it's really no different. I know that some people who may not have ever had the opportunity to experience a game may kind of cast it off as a niche sport, or something as kind of an oddity. But the one thing that I always tell people is that if you go to a game, you will be hooked. I mean, this is it's not the NFL. This is our own brand of football. It's high impact. It's high energy. It's fun entertainment from start to finish. And people that do have an opportunity to experience a game, they become lifelong fans
Yeah.
of it. And so I can definitely consider myself a fan of the game now, as I've moved past those playing days. But I'm definitely a lifelong fan because of the experiences with it.
Yeah. This is like the NFL on speed. The
Oh,
AFL.
it absolutely is, and that's one of the things that people always want to have that comparison between the two games, the NFL and the indoor, and what I have to continuously let them know is it's a different game.
Yeah.
It's a completely different game. The rules, the intricacies, of this sport. There are plenty of guys, in the NFL that cannot do what these guys do on a week to week basis. They
No.
just can't. I've had an opportunity to be in camp with through both the old league and the reemergence with guys who were very large names through college, through NFL, and they couldn't cut it. And one one guy, I won't mention his name, actually asked to asked the coach. He knew he wasn't going to make the team, and he asked the coach, "Hey, let me say that I retired from playing." He just didn't want that to be known that with the success that he had, that he couldn't make the AFL team, and that's a testament to the really the skill that these men have to be able to go out there and do what they do on a week to week basis. That someone that was that large of a name came in and just couldn't hack it, and that's just is certainly no knock against that person. It just this is a unique game. It takes a unique skill set. It takes certainly a unique athlete to be able to come out there and do it. And just because you've been at the NFL level and made more money than some of these guys, certainly doesn't mean that you're a better athlete.
Yeah. Now that you're saying that you're basically done with the playing stuff, well, no, you might pull a Jordan and come back and play for the new ownership of the SaberCats or whatever. But as long as you don't join that local team that's right next to out of your front yard there, But now that you're done, just from like an overall fan point of view, what do you think this league needs to do to get back to basically like say 80% of what it was first to get going again?
I think that some of the things have really already been done, And I know that with some of the ownership and team turnover that that we've seen over recent years from kind of from an outsider looking in, it may seem like, whoa, these guys are in trouble. What's going on? Obviously, have been privy to some additional information as it relates to a lot of that stuff. But I really think that they're moving in the right direction. And sometimes you may lose a few, of the ownerships or teams that may not share, the vision of the best way to proceed. But, I think that, Scott Butera's, I think that he legitimately is interested in the success of this league. And I think that, he's got a vision for, how that moves forward. And I think that a lot of those things are in play. Obviously, in the long term, securing a viable television partner, league wide sponsors, and I really think that, getting out of their current system of single entity. I think that getting out of that and creating more of a free market for for players, I think is really going to attract additional big name guys to come in, which will pull in additional fans. And obviously, it's kind of a piggyback thing. The more fans that are there, it's obviously going to make their jobs easier and securing those television contracts and those marketing deals and partnerships that are really going to help thrive. And the model that they've really been speaking about over the last few weeks or months is with going with those ownership groups who have interests in other organizations, whether it's going to be the NFL, or I'm sorry, the NHL or NBA type ownership groups. That's going to obviously help a ton in getting making it easier, making it a more viable product, and not having to worry about spending so much money on the actual cost of the actual venues for these games. Because, like I said, that is one of the most burdensome expenses for these franchises. Is the game day operations, and anything that they can do that can reduce that. Obviously, many of the NFL, NHL clubs, they do have ownership in a lot of these arenas, and that I think is going to make it much more viable for them as a business model.
Yeah. So with bringing that said, the announcement of the Sacramento team owning a team in 2017, and the Washington D.C. owning a team, which will be Monumental Sports, I think is the name of the business in D.C. that owns both the Wizards and the Capitals of the NHL and NBA. And they also, I think, own the Washington Mystic of the WNBA. That they're going to put the AFL team in a 5,000-seat arena. Did you hear anything about that?
Well, I think that with it, obviously it's still early. With all the plans, and if it makes sense, then it makes sense. Obviously, if you got an ownership group that owns an arena or has a business model that's going to get that's going to work for a smaller venue. I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes, sometimes it's more beneficial, because it does create a demand for the seats. And obviously, if you've got the right marketing strategy behind it, having a demand obviously always, enables you to be able to, increase, prices, do something that's going to be a little bit more competitive. So, it's not necessarily a bad thing going to a smaller arena. Certainly it's it's still early, and everything's kind of subject to change. But I think that the league's really been aggressively pursuing viable ownership groups who can really take a team and not just be around for the short term, but teams that are going to actually be here and be here to stay.
That's cool. And what do you think about the possible ownership of 3 teams in Mexico by Univision?
That's certainly going to be something that have to figure out the details behind. I think that in theory it sounds really good. I think that we really have to look at more details on it. How that's going to work with the league here. Is it are they going to do something separate? Is it going to be a joint league between them and here? And if it is, what do you do about players who potentially can't secure a passport? What is what are the roster moves there? How that's going to really impact them? There's a lot of things that have to be worked out, especially whenever you're dealing with something internationally. Because that certainly has to be a concern on what if you've got 3 of your guys on your teams who can't secure a passport. Well, then what do you do for that week? And for those guys, obviously, from a labor union perspective, it's like, okay, well, do these gentlemen are they going to have to wait before they sign wait until the schedule comes out to sign with a team that doesn't play one of those 3 teams, so that they so they're not missing out on pay or what that deal's going to look like. So there's obviously in other countries there are extremely large and loyal fan bases for a variety of sport, and I think that saw a little bit of that with the AFL China deal when they had that exhibition game there, and I think that there certainly is a ton of potential when you're looking at international markets, and obviously it increases visibility and credibility of the brand when you're able to do those things. So I think that they're on the right they're on the right track with pursuing it. I think that the details just have to be worked out.
Yeah, I just hope they don't rush into it. I think they need to fix their home base first, which will help even more credibility for the outside markets in other countries. But I think they need to get back to at least a 20 teams league here in the States, and don't worry about expansion overseas right now. I think they need to get it right here. And with them, and they have a lot to rebuild now, not only just with building new teams and getting every new team being financially sound in their own markets, but I think they need to rebuild a relationship with just the general overall public right now, because everybody's scratching their heads and they're wondering like what's going on, and then they need to work with the TV stations. They need to also have deals where they broadcast commercials for the games outside their own TV stations that they market, and they need to do more outside marketing. That's what I think, and you can reach more people that way.
Oh no, I think that as it relates to the marketing, I think that the league, I think that Scott's got a pretty good grip on it. I think that you'll see a lot of changes this year as it relates to the marketing of the league. I think that the fans will be extremely excited about how that rolls out. And like I said, I think that the vision is really coming to play. I'm glad that there were enough owners that really shared in that vision to really kind of move it forward. And one of the things that really hurt me, because as I say, I've become a fan of this deal. I was extremely saddened to see that San Jose won't be fielding a team this year, and in the future, at least by the same ownership group, and that was that hurt me.
Yeah.
Because like I say, you just you certainly don't come across many owners like that, and I certainly reached out to the Fries, and once that happened, just to of course just thank them for always being there, and taken care of arena football players, for the last, several years. And uh, but obviously, for that, for the market, and obviously there were some challenges moving into the next season as far as scheduling of the arena, and really having an understanding of what the behind the marketing strategy, and you're just not going to always have everyone agree on the best way to move things forward, and that's kind of what happened there. Is it's unfortunate, but I think that as the league progresses, I think that there were several different ways that you could have moved. I think that the Fry ownership group, they certainly had a vision that I think was extremely viable, but that just wasn't the direction that the leadership in the league wanted to move in, and they got a different vision, and I think that I think that both would have worked, and I think that either way it goes, that this league's going to be successful.
Yeah, and you and I could both, from our contacts from within the organization, you and I could both say it wasn't a financial issue with Fry's, saying that they couldn't afford coming out because what they did, and because a lot of people were saying that the Fries.com golf tournament was canceled, and they couldn't run it because they're having issues with their Fry's electronic stores. And I watch it on like some family vlogs on YouTube from time to time, and I'm seeing some of these guys like. Some guy in Arizona go to the Fry's electronic store, and he goes, "Oh, if this is a kid's wonderland, if you're a geek, you want to come to Fry's, stuff. All the electronics that they sell." And another guy in Houston went to Fry's electronics store, and it looks like both stores are pretty packed from the background of the camera, And so it's the stores. I'm sure probably are still going strong, as compared to other brands. I think so.
And I know that. Obviously, it's that's kind of the easy thing to say, that there's a financial struggle. If you got fans in other markets, and that is not a concern of that family.
Yeah.
That is certainly not the financial. Obviously, when you talk about the financial, obviously for the league moving in a different direction, and wanting to obviously there's an increase in in the amount of finances that each team would be required to of course put up, and and things like that. And it kind of goes back to what I was saying just a moment ago, is if you don't share in that vision, then it just doesn't make sense, and that's the reality of it. And it's obviously, it's, the money comes forward and say, oh, well, they didn't want to, pay the money, so maybe they're struggling. Well, no, it's just like, okay, well, this vision makes sense when I'm spending this amount. But if you're going to change the vision, well, I have to buy into that vision. I have to actually believe in that vision for me to say, okay, well, I'm going to double what I paid last year, or or anything like that. You have to share in that vision, and if you just don't share in that vision, then you say, okay, well, it just doesn't make sense, to do it. And that's every owner, and you've seen some of it with the other groups that decided to move out, and if it were about the money, well, then they would have purchased the SaberCat name and joined the IFL. That's like one of the like some of the other groups did. So listen, Forbes had them listed at 2.2 billion at the net worth of the Fry's stores, and obviously they've got other things going on, and the finances are not a concern for them.
Yeah, no matter how expensive it is to live here in San Jose, I think Fry's can afford it.
They are certainly not. It's almost laughable when I started seeing. And I follow the message boards and things too, because I'm always interested to see what goes on there, and what the temperature is around the league, and I see some of that stuff, and I just kind of shake my head and laugh, and just like, that's. It couldn't be further from the truth. That's
and the other truth was led by some fans up in the Northwest. We won't say who. That the Fries were paying under a table, and Butera came out in an interview recently on SanJoseInside.com saying no, if Fries was paying under the table, we would have caught him and we would have dealt with him directly. But apparently that didn't happen, and that was not one of the reasons. A reason why they left the league, because they were caught and they didn't want to pay the so-called fine or whatever. So, they treated their players with the utmost highest respect. They had to do accordingly to the cost of living out here in San Jose. The LA Kiss is in the same situation, as the cost of living in Anaheim is really high, and they had to do some restructuring themselves when they brought in Joe Wyndham this past year. And he saw the costs were skyrocketed through the roof, going to Whittier College and housing players the way out there wasn't practical for the budget.
Some of the different teams, it just, it's teams that have, decided to go their own separate ways, and owners that have decided to move on. There wasn't a strong foundation within the organization with some of the teams, and I've obviously, with through the union work, I've had an opportunity to visit several of the teams around the league, and looking at some of the front office staffs, and you can walk into some of these buildings, and there's two people, they're manning the phones, they're trying to sell partnerships, they're trying to do contact season ticket holders, you have 2, 3, sometimes 4 employees trying to run this entire organization, and it just can't get it done. And I used to love when I walk into into San Jose or Arizona. You walk into these organizations, and they got staffs of tons of people, and these aren't more often than not, these aren't paid employees. They're going out, they're reaching out to colleges, finding the marketing interns, finding the sales interns, and these different people that can come in and fulfill these unique needs. And these people, they're being paid with the college credit that they receive. And it's are you actually as an ownership group, do you have the the understanding of really the business development to be able to use your the resources that are around you, because you don't always have to go out and hire a ton of employees and utilize a lot of resources, and that there are plenty of other opportunities to have qualified people or people that are really striving to be successful and make a name for themselves within this industry come out and perform a lot of these duties for free. Around the country, many companies utilize the services of interns and at free or minimal costs. And I looked at some of these organizations, and I'd say, why aren't you guys doing this? Why aren't you guys, we don't have a team out there that's, located somewhere where there isn't, at least 10 local colleges, or, whether it's community colleges, colleges and universities in the surrounding areas, to really be able to leverage that talent to be able to build your organization. So, some teams they just weren't doing things the right way. In San Jose and some of the other the top tier organizations, it's evident by the game day operations. It's evident by the what you're seeing on the field.
Yeah, and I've had good experience going to Arizona around their games. They do the same thing. It's they have the same company that does the game day operations in Arizona as they do here in San Jose with Kenny and his crew and his company. It's great. And then LA, they tried doing their thing. Saw on Fourth and Loud that the guy that came in for their grand spectacle in the first year was a $50,000 for that one game and not the entire Stanley season. And Paul Stanley was about to pull his hair out, say, no, we have a budget. We can't do that, man. $50,000 for one game. It's one thing if you say, hey, this is going to be the one thing. It's going to be our inaugural game. We're going to go all out. Spare no expense for that. For that one instance. And it's another thing to say, hey, we're going to do this on a weekend and week out basis, and that's not viable in any in any market here. So I think that getting Wyndham over there, he's a smart guy, and he's obviously able to build some success, help contribute to some of the success here in Arizona, and I think that he'll do things really the right way there. They did a great job in getting Omar Smith down there, and
he's going to do just a fantastic job. As far as developing the product that you see on the field, and this will without a doubt be their most successful year. Since joining the league 2 years ago, they are. I'm excited to see the product that they have on the field and see them compete.
Yeah, did you know that Paul Stanley and Dean Simmons, with the hiring of Lomar, have actually officially changed their name? They're not using the KISS brand anymore. They're now now they're called the LA Southern SaberCats.
I knew it was coming. Hey, I tell you what, you're getting Nate Stanley down there. You're getting influxes. The thing about it is I used to tell people that with the guys who would talk about some of the alleged under the table stuff that goes on, and some of the things, and I tell them, what, if I'm a guy and I'm living, I'm from somewhere in Illinois and I'm deciding on where I want to go, there are advantages about living on a coast. There are advantages about to living in Arizona. There are advantages, if you have aspirations to play for an owner who maybe has NFL ties, and there are advantages if you have through your collegiate education, you have aspirations of pursuing a career in the industry that your owner has a strong foothold. There are all kinds of things that go into the decisions of going to a team, but there's even some of the little things. One of the owners that is no longer around. You're giving guys hot dogs for all their meals. It's the little stuff. You go to San Jose or Arizona and Phillies. Some of these teams, you're not having to deal with that. I mean, you're being treated like a professional. And that's that really does go a long way when a player is looking at somewhere to go. To one, be treated like a professional, and two, obviously having an opportunity to win. Those are things that really you can't say enough about. The facilities. Where am I going to live? What does the housing situation look like? Do you have enough of a relationship with the community where I to where I can leverage my playing ability to secure a career, or looking at places. Where is maybe somewhere where I want to live long term? After my playing days are done, can I actually set up roots here? Is it somewhere where I want to set up roots? There's so many different things that go into deciding where you want, where a guy wants to play, and it's the easiest thing to always say is, oh, well, hey, they must be, paying somebody extra, and all that. And teams are graded are granted a lot of flexibility and latitude, and some of the things that they can do for players to make their respective cities and teams attractive. And some teams take advantage of it, and some teams don't. And are you working within the framework to really take advantage of anything that you can, and you can't really fault the teams that are doing it.
Yeah. Well, we've been going on for almost like an hour now. I know you and I have almost done this before when you came to San Jose one game, and I met you and I cut you off from buying your own drink there at the bar at the arena, and I told you, come sit by me. You did, and then next thing we both looked up at the scoreboard and said, okay, what's the score going on? And then we're like, wait, fourth quarter? What happened to the third quarter?
I tell you what, you get you and I together, and neither one of us have ever showed up, man. We'll talk all night, all day if you let us. But
so I wonder if that's going to be a dangerous situation when Tom and I come down and join you in Arizona for the LA Kiss at Arizona Rattlers game on May 21st. So that could be even bad.
I tell you what, I certainly look forward to it, and you and I, talk, outside of arena football and a number of things, and obviously, I'm sure I'll be talking to you here in the next couple of days. We always we always talk, and and it certainly won't just be out here. And maybe if you guys get down to a game in LA or anywhere surrounding, certainly.
We're going to the LA Kiss home opener on April 2nd against the Sharks. So
Okay,
that's where we're going to go. And I've already told, like the players. I told Nathan Stanley. I've told Omar, Rodney Fritz, and now DJ Stevens, who just recently got picked up there. So I told them all we're going down there. And I told Brian Fox, and we're going to try to get down there. And maybe you can make the 6-hour trek, west and come out to the coastland and a little bit cooler weather down to Anaheim.
Hey, I tell you what, it's even better. It's about a 45-minute flight, so I'd probably do.
Lucky you.
I'll probably take that route, but absolutely, schedule permitting, I'll certainly see you there.
Definitely. We have I posted so far I posted up to week 6, I believe, of all the games on ninthmannation.net. You can hit the calendar, and I have a Google embed calendar. Just select the month, and it's all on there, including our podcast that we have here on SoundCloud. Really quick, I have to do a little quick sponsor shout out to Blue Water Seafood and Crab. Steve is a customer here.
It is delicious.
He knows it when he's out here in San Jose. It's great stuff. I'm actually sitting right to the right of the owner. Here's right to my left right now. So it's great stuff out here. And then also now, it was probably more accidental this was brought up, but I guess we're unofficially sponsored by Isagenix.com. You go and check out your protein stuff, get your health nutrition, and get yourself some do-right stuff, and do the Isagenix stuff.
Absolutely. I tell you what, the Blue Water, that is good food. We've had an opportunity to sit there and check it out a couple of times, and it is delicious. Hey, there he is. It is absolutely delicious. So anybody, if you're not there, if you are there locally, definitely go check it out. And if you're not, if you ever have an opportunity to visit the Bay Area, it is certainly worth your time to get out there. And obviously with Isagenix, certainly reach out to Eric, and he knows how to get a hold of me, and anything with health and fitness. So
yeah, definitely. And the next time you come out to San Jose, I'm buying you. I am buying you, not you. No. I'm buying you a lobster roll.
Lobster roll. Hey, it sounds good. Well, take it easy. I tell you what, I appreciate you. You having me on, and I look forward to seeing you here in just a couple of months.
All right, man. Thanks a lot, Steven. You have a good weekend. Also, Merry Christmas to you and your family, too.
Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays.
All right. Bye.
Bye.